Record. Here's the encoder, and you're good to go.
Hey, Chels.
Hey.
Hey, Chels, if you think 2020 was bad, just wait till it turns 21 and it can start drinking.
Who are you kidding? It's been drinking this whole year. We're just trying to hide it from mom.
What? Illegal. Get out of the house. No, stay inside.
Stay inside. Stay inside. Living La Vida lockdown.
Do you feel that shimmy, America? That was for you. Dave, please play that track. Why? You're so fabulous.
Yeah, I'm single, ready to mingle. Yeah, I'm single. These are the reasons why I'm single.
Yes. I love our theme.
Oh my gosh, hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, girl.
To the end of the year.
Man, on the 23rd day of retail, my Chelsea gave to me.
I yelled at someone today.
You yelled at someone today?
Did. We had a lot of surprising, like shocking amount of people who did not order cakes, who walked up and expected cakes, and we had some cakes ready, but we didn't have like as many as were needed. So we just closed, and so I just got home, but they were like, what do you mean you don't have any cake? And I was like, we have the little cakes. We don't have any more big cakes. And he goes, what do you mean you don't have any big cakes? And I was like, when I say I don't have any cakes, I have 0 cakes.
Staccato.
And he's like, I just called like 10 minutes ago. And I'm like, well, that's not true because we haven't had cakes for an hour. He was like,
So you're a liar, sir.
and then he
Or
pulls
ma'am,
out his
whoever they
phone
were.
and he called 3 hours before. And he's like, this is ridiculous. And he goes, I'm not talking to you anymore. I was like, good, I think we shouldn't speak. And I just
We broke up. Before you even think this can be a thing, we're breaking up.
nope. Oh man. But how are you doing?
Girl, same with all the days in a row. To be quite honest. Yeah, I'm tired. It's so funny because so I've been in the office, and so when I get out of bed and I'm like, I think that I can just be ready in 30 minutes flat. I couldn't be ready in 30 minutes flat prior to pandemic. So then adding this like stress and just lethargic state of mind, it's like, of course I'm not gonna be ready, but I still get up. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, maybe like twice a week. 2 out of the 5, 6 days of work, I wash my face. Other days I don't. I'm sorry, Chelsea. I'm sorry. I've just been so lazy. It's been terrible. But when I do wash my face, Chelsea, and I put moisturizer on and then I put the primer on, like, yeah, I'm gonna do something. I never do anything, but I always put the primer on because the thought is there. And then I'm like, it took me 20 minutes just to get out of bed and use the bathroom and brush my teeth. Like, I'm so slow. I'm so tired, but you know what? It's been a heck of a year, America, and we just thank you for sticking with us. Reasons why I'm single this whole year round. You didn't have to, but you chose to, and that is so sweet of you. I'm just saying.
Listen, this is technically going to go out to the podcast world at the end of the year, so I put on a sparkly shirt, like you know how everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's New Year's, I want to wear something sparkly. And if you listen, can you hear it? It like,
oh, I do hear it. I hear you. You better shimmy and give us that sound.
These are
shimmy
noisy
sounds.
Those shimmy sounds.
Shim shimmity, shim shimmity, shim 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 sounds.
Shimmer shimmer. Yeah, I have been working. That's pretty much been my life. I have had a little bit of a rough week, so I'm so glad to be here hanging out with you guys. It is It is joy. I had a pretty rude awakening to the fact that 2020 has been hard on everybody, and yeah, it's people are feeling much more isolated, even more so, and the holidays are already something that can do that to people. And I just, bummer city, but I just want to let everybody know that you are not alone. And this is hard, but there's always tomorrow. There is always tomorrow, and there's always something to look forward to. So I had a friend of mine make the decision that there wasn't anything looking forward to. So prayers for his family and everybody. But just if you're out there and you're struggling, know that you're not alone, and that there are places you can call who they don't even, it's anonymous, and it'll just if you just got to get your feelings out and you don't want to bother someone with your time, or you can bother me, it's fine.
Dude, bother us. Listen, y'all can hit us up.
You can message us on Facebook. You can message us on Instagram. You can message us on Twitter. We'll do our best to respond. But if you just need to get whatever's going on in your head out of your head, we're here for absolute serious. That's for serious.
But for serious, it's real life. We were just talking about before the show. Number one, super shouts out to Dave, who runs Podcast Detroit. He was the one that inspired us for our intro. So I'm an English major, so I always give credit where credit is due for the references that I use. Thank you.
The bibliography.
Yes, because back in my day, kids, you weren't allowed to use the internet for your sources. Isn't that crazy?
We didn't even have the internet.
Well, we did, but this was what, like through 2007, we weren't allowed to use the internet as our sources because it's just like, okay, someone's blog maybe, but it's like
it wasn't seen as like actual fact.
Right? Like I remember when it's so crazy, like when Twitter came out. And especially, I remember seeing a lot for like athletes, and they would quote them like, oh, but they said this on Twitter. And people were just like, that's not a reputable source of getting a quote from them. I remember thinking that too, like, you use Twitter. That's like not real life. Like, you sit down and have an interview with them. But now it's like, no, that's totally a quote from them. Like, they tweeted that on their phone. Like, it's crazy how much it changes. But anyways, we were talking before the podcast, and I made the comment, like, listen, like, therapy is amazing. It'll bless you if you let it. Cause like, I'm definitely, like, y'all know. So like, I'm a Christian and I've always been.
What?
Raised, I know. What? Yes. I rocks with Jesus and he rocks with me. Happy birthday, Jesus. Turn up. Pandemic can't stop his birthday party. Hey. Anyways, go Jesus. It's your birthday. Okay. I'm saying I'm done, but probably not. You're welcome, America. So, but I was saying that, like, I'm always just, I always pray about everything, but I absolutely hit a wall probably like a week before Thanksgiving, and I would just sob at the drop of a hat. And I remember it happening because they had announced, like, that was when they had announced that they were closing restaurants again, and just like this heaviness just weighed down on me. And I was just like, this doesn't make sense because, like, I don't own a restaurant. I don't work at a restaurant, so it didn't directly affect me, but just the sorrow that all of a sudden came with it, I was just in shock. And so then I would just start crying uncontrollably at the drop of a hat any day. I couldn't time it. So I sought out therapy because it really freaked me out. And when I was talking to the therapist, she was just like, you're grieving. I'm like, I don't grieve. Because legit, I don't. I didn't even cry at my grandmother's funeral. Like, I'm not a person that does that. She says, you are grieving. And I'm like, well, would you look at that? But just having that break.
A whole human.
Right? Wait a minute. I have feelings. I have a heart. Stop it. But no, like, just, yes, definitely be open to other sources, because as headstrong as I am, I'll just like, you know what, whatever, I'll just figure it out myself. I'll just pray about everything, blah, blah, blah. Nah, like, we were not meant to be an island. There are other people. Your opinions are important to all of us. You being here is important. So please reach out.
Reach out over me, girl.
What'd you say?
There's that song. It's like, darling, reach out. And they like talk over it. And they're like, just reach out over here, girl. Reach out. No?
So it's the song Reach Out.
I'll be there with the love and I'll come for you.
It's that song?
Yes.
Oh, I got you. Reach out. I'm there now. I was thinking, what was it? Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Like that's all where I was staying. So I was like, I don't know, but I
don't
did
know
know
that
it.
one.
Also, this is why we didn't do well on a certain game show. I'm the flaw. I mean, single.
So I haven't been on any dates. I've been pretty busy with work. But I thought it would be kind of fun maybe if we just thought back on the crazy days before we got locked down and everything. Oh, and as a side note, when Stacey says that restaurants shut down again, not every state did that. So if you're listening and you're not from Michigan, Michigan locked down again almost as heavily as they did. I would say probably in June. And it hasn't really gotten much better. So yeah. So so we're still it was actually today I met a man from Ohio and
Hold
he
on.
was
Should we take care of some business so we can give this man a name?
yes, we should.
Okay. What is the time for, Chels?
It's time for the fake name series of the day.
Ow! So the fake name series of the day is what we use to say
the shade.
We look like we're howling at the moon when we say that. I just need you to know that, America. So instead of using people's real names, we use names that are from the fake name series of the day to hide their identities. But they heard these stories.
I know they are.
Are, and they're not at a bar. Maybe next year they will be.
Good one, Stacey.
I like ending them abruptly. I don't know why, but I do.
You're allowed to do it however you want. It's your part.
Oh my gosh, thanks. You're so supportive. See, support's out there. Here's mine.
Aw, thanks.
Uh,
So what is the fake name series of the day, Stace?
The fake name series of the day is The Undoing. Ooh, so saw a lot of buzz about this because it features the actress, which I'm told I'm not allowed to reference to people, Nicole Kidman, because I think she looks gorgeous. And when I see pale people, I think Nicole Kidman because I think she's so pretty. And people are just like, oh, looks so pale. I'm like, no, you don't. You look gorgeous like Nicole Kidman. I've been told I need to choose a different celebrity. So I'll work on it. That'll be my homework. Maybe Emma Stone? Emma Stone? She's pale, right?
I mean, yeah, she could be pale.
I don't know if I've ever seen her tan. I don't know the rules though. I don't know the rules.
Like I've seen her tan, but that was like early stuff. When I don't know. So what's this show about, Stace? Because I don't know.
Listen, that's a great question. So it's definitely on HBO Max. I'm pretty pumped to give it a look-see. So this show is about it's based off of a novel by writer David E. Kelly, who also did Big Little Lies. We've used that series in the past. So it focuses on Grace Frazier, a successful therapist, and her devoted husband, Jonathan, and their young son, who attends an elite private school in New York City. A chasm opens in Grace's seemingly perfect life, a violent death, a missing spouse, and a chain of terrible revelations. Some
Dun
say,
dun dun.
some say it's an HBO miniseries. Some say it's our dating life. So you've been briefed.
That could be true. But no, okay, so I met a guy from Ohio today doing the cake thing, and his name was
Jonathan Frazier.
So ding, Jonathan Frazier, he he was like, yeah, I'm from Ohio and you guys are a lot more locked down than we are. And I'm like, yeah, no, we definitely are. And he goes, no, you don't get it. Like a lot. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, like, buildings, you guys don't go in buildings. Like my cake store, we closed the lobby. So, and a lot of stores have chosen to do that. And he goes, I went to go pick up something because he does this, it's essentially like a DoorDash thing, but it's the company's hire the delivery. It's kind of a different way to do it. But and he was like, he goes, I can usually just walk into buildings and get my things. He goes, I've been told to wait, or there's like too many people inside. And I'm like, what is happening? And then in my head, I was like, well, Ohio. So
Would you stop? Once again, wasn't me that said it. And it's funny because number one, not doing a whole ton, none really, Christmas shopping this year. Speaking with my parents, they were just like, no, we're not feeling gifts this year. And I'm like, sweet, cool. So to that point, I called my brother. Y'all know him, Matthew. What up, bro? Shouts out to him. He is now COVID free. Such a trooper. But I told him, I was like, hey, I'm like, did you talk to mom about Christmas? He's like, yeah, we were trying to figure out what to get them. I said, no. Mom said, don't want to do presents this year. And dad's like, okay, cool. And I was just like, okay, cool. I'm fine with that. All I want to do is wake up and eat rum cake for breakfast and live my best life. Fun fact, I ate rum cake for breakfast whenever my dad would make it. Around the Christmas time season, as a kid, like junior high through high school, and that just bewildered my father. So he's just like, I can't believe you did that. I'm like, first of all, I saw myself off to school and I had a thick piece of rum cake and a cup of milk for breakfast, and your girl got all A's. So who can be angry? But anyways, so I was talking to my brother. And I said, yeah, we're not doing presents. He's like, yeah, but we're still looking at presents. I said, no, not how this works. They said no presents. And he is the favorite child. So he always and he has grandchildren now. So it's like, I have no chance. And so I was like, Matthew, they said no presents. Can you please stick to the plan? Because we've done this in the past where mom's like, I don't want to do presents. And then 2 days before him, my brother's just like, hey, so the presents are going to be late, but they're on our way. My mom's like, oh, we should do presents. I'm like, why do you do this? So I'm like, I need you to just not get anything. Can you please be in agreement with me on this? He's like, I can't promise you that. I'm like, dang it, brother. So then I talked to them. And so then he, unfortunately, had gotten sick. He's better now. As I said, he's negative now. And so I was talking to his wife. And so she was just like, well, maybe we could all do something. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. Collaboration, not teams where I always lose. So it was nice to have our forces come together. I can't say what we came together to talk about because mother is pretty active on the Facebooks and likes to watch this occasionally. So y'all will have to wait.
Well, I did get Stacy a Christmas present, and it came in the mail. It came in the mail 2 days ago, and it doesn't matter. And it was broken.
How you gonna fix it?
Legitimately, I've had such bad luck with shipping in like the last week.
What happened to your pants?
The new ones are on the way. Again, I haven't gotten them yet. So I was hoping I would have an update for you guys before 2020 was out, but apparently not. So I got Stacy 2 things. I did not spend a lot of money. But the one thing that I got that was broken, I'm gonna show you because this is who I am, Stace. You know this. So I got you a coffee cup. But look at what it says.
Come on, Ruth type favor. Oh, we were just talking about Ruth last week.
Great, and it was broken.
It's fun. Oh man, when speaking of happier times, first of all, that's hilarious. And thank you. That's so kind. But that is hysterical.
Just sending me a new one. So when it comes, whoever knows when.
Great. You have Ruth type favor, but it's broken. That describes my dating life. Because everyone pride's talking about Ruth in the Bible because she married a super rich man. So it's kind of funny.
Right?
That's hysterical.
Do you want to see? Do you want to see the other thing I got you, or you want to?
Do you want me to see the other thing that you got me?
Listen, okay, so there's two things. Yes, I do. Number one, yes, I do. Number two, it's in the other room. And full disclosure, I have this cute sparkly top on and plaid pajama pants because you guys don't see that. So
Listen, I'll show my sweatpants while you're gone. I have no problem with that.
you're so cute. Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. This is hilarious because I actually have a coworker, Elena Alves. Bing. And so Elena Alves, she is thinking of getting her first tattoo. And so for her, I just, we were like, okay, like maybe we'll do little Christmas presents. And so I was like, okay, well, let me ask Chelsea, since she's like the tattoo guru. So I'm asking her all these different questions. She was just like, what? Someone's getting a tattoo? I was just like, yeah, what do you recommend someone getting their first tattoo? So of course she gives me good advice, like make sure, look at the different shops, look through their lookbook, make sure they're able to do what you're looking to do. Check for just making sure everything is, I don't know if sanitary is the right word I want to use, but just making sure they have all the appropriate protocols, especially in this time, 2020, pandemic, COVID, all of that stuff. Like you have no excuse to not be up to code and beyond with being clean and sanitary and all that good stuff. But anyways, I've said sanitary too many times. I just said it a third time. But anyways, so Chelsea gave me some amazing information about what to do, like just research and all this other stuff for getting your first tattoo. Then she's just like, are you going to tell me who it is? I'm like, maybe. But I figured it would secretly get on her nerves. So I'm like, I'll tell her.
Well, it was more like, okay, if it's you, these are the things you need to know. Because there are certain tattoo artists that don't know how to do melanin-filled skin.
Man, you know what else is along those same lines, but also Chelsea, in the message I put, my friend is looking to get their first tattoo. In parentheses I put, not me.
Yeah, but also it could be a diversion.
You're the sneaky one, not me. Like it is not me. And like along the lines of being like deliciously melanated, so I did for my other two bosses, Grace Frazier and Henry Frazier. I know that's the mom and son, but that's fine. So I decided to just make things hair themed. So I went to their appropriate salons and got them gift cards. It always makes me giggle going into salons that are not able to do black hair, because I walk in and they're all like, oh no. Like I just wait for the look and I just kind of wait for it. They're just like, and they have masks on, so all you get is eyes. So it's like, like it's so awkward.
I'm here.
Yeah, like how much is your blowout? Like just asking questions. They're like, and I'm like, I'm just here for a gift card.
Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, I got you this.
Get out of here. What?
Travel sizes, but I know you're like one. I know you love your girl.
Tracy Ellis Ross, she's like go-to fashion icon, everything from the top of her head to the soles of her feet.
Let me give you a little tour of the thing that's gonna get dropped off at your house.
We love patterns and Tracy Ellis Ross on this podcast.
So
also we love you, America and world.
So you get the hydration shampoo to gently cleanse and hydrate.
Oh.
And then you get this is what I've learned from the packaging. Do you see the cute face on here? See how she doesn't have super ton of details?
Right.
So that means that one works for everybody. But the more detailed the face, see how she has bangs and she's got like more nose and her eyes open. So this is more for coily hair.
Oh,
yeah, this is the heavy conditioner, and she's thick in here. I can feel it.
Yes. Get in where you fit in. Conditioner.
And then there's the leave-in conditioner.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you to try all of this. And I was excited for her to try it when it came out, and I was just like, this is what she needs. This is what she deserves. So this is what you need, what you deserve.
When you
Mary?
said this is what she deserves, I didn't know if you were talking about me or Tracy Ellis Ross, because I'm like, yes, Tracy Ellis Ross does deserve these great things and her great branding.
Isn't it so cute?
Oh, Chels.
Yeah, of course. Also, fun fact,
I love fun facts.
Tracy Ellis Ross's brand is paraben free, free of sodium lauryl sulfates, color safe, free of cyclic silicones. Say that 10 times fast.
Man, I was like free of sickle cell. Okay.
Phosphate free and formaldehyde free, which are product. Which it's so funny because you hear formaldehyde and you only think like dead bodies, but formaldehyde is actually in a lot of beauty products. It's in almost all nail polishes unless it specifically says formaldehyde free. And it's not great for your body. It's a preservative. But yeah, so it's actually good. It's important to know, to look and make sure things are formaldehyde free.
Man, a lot of freedom going on there. Yes.
I love giving gifts. I love people's faces and people's reactions. And that's why I'm kind of the worst gift giver, because if I have to wait, I'm like, but I just want to tell you what I got. So I'm really proud that I like waited until I could show you, but obviously I didn't, because like Ruth was broken and I still showed you.
Ruth was broken. Oh man, that's what I was gonna say. So kids back in the day, you used to be able to travel globally with no issues.
That's very true. Look at us.
So Chelsea and I, thank you. So Chelsea and I were living our fabulous single lives. She went to Ireland.
Ireland.
Someday I'll get it. Chelsea went to Ireland. And I went to Israel. One of the places we went to was the field where it was Boaz's field that he owned, and it was where Ruth and Boaz met. And I'm just like, that's kind of cool. So then they're like, oh, let's just like pray over like everyone here, like whether you're single or you're married or all this other stuff, just like a blessing of love. I'm like, this is beautiful. Also seeing the mug, I'm like, mine's broken.
Stacy also went to Paris that year, and Stacy and I went to California together. Like 2017, we traveled.
Okay, and it's so funny because beginning of this year, 2020, when I had my review at work, and so I had asked for more vacation days, and I said, and I quote, I'm like, I am not going anywhere this year, 2020. I said, but next year is gonna be on and popping. It was like, mom's turning 65, dad is turning 70, Matt and Angie's 15-year anniversary. What else was there? And church was talking about going back to Israel, and I'm like, so there's 4 big things pending, so I'd really like to do majority of those,
like,
if
be
possible.
available to do those things.
Right, because initially so dad is beginning of January 3rd, so he's pretty low-key, so either just, probably just gonna have like a party at their house or something like that, but clearly that's not happening anymore. For mom, we were going to do a family cruise or a trip to Hawaii. We nixed that. Matt and Ange, they were going to do an anniversary trip to Paris in June, but now we don't know if that's going to happen. Oh, my brother, he's turning, wait, how old am I turning? No, he's not turning 40 yet. But Ange, I think Ange was someone in their family was gonna be turning 40. So then we're looking at that celebration in May. There's just a lot of stuff going on. And now we're all like, meh. We can dream.
Hey, somebody liked this video and I can't see who it was.
Because I'm dreaming of you tonight.
Till tomorrow, I'll be holding you tight. Nowhere in the world I'd rather be than here in my room, dreaming of you here with me. Okay, can we talk about Selena Quinceañera? Like,
yes, Selena.
love Selena. Second song I play every night at karaoke. First one, Be My Lover. Secondly, why? Because every time you play it, there's always people in the bar that go, oh my gosh. That second song I play is my favorite Selena song, and it's Beady Beady Bum Bum. And it's a Spanish song. I love it so much. I love it. Netflix is doing a Selena show right now, and it is fabulous. It's amazing. Like, the girl plays her so well. The guy who plays her dad is fantastic. And I highly recommend. The fashion is amazingly 90s. It's so good.
Oh, shouts out to dude, like one of the OGs, Angelique, who was a guest on our show, and she actually designed, so she was doing fitness competitions, and she would actually design costumes, and they were she made ones that looked like Selena's, and they were absolutely gorgeous. Shout out to you, boo.
So let's just give Selena her props, because she was cut way too short in life, and she worked so hard from like the age of 6 to get where she was, and then just cut out of life way too quick. But like, buy her original album, because, or at least listen to it on Spotify. It is so good. Her English speaking album is so good, and that's actually like her 4th or her 5th album. The rest of them are Spanish speaking, and they're just amazing. But if you really want to know, like, if you want to know, first off, you should watch the J-Lo movie, because J-Lo slaps. Secondly, you should watch the Netflix series, and then go ahead and compare them to the two, because they're so different, but so similar. It's really good. It's really, really good. I'm not finished with it completely, and I know what's coming, because we all know what's coming. And
fair. It's fair.
And I'm just like, what is it?
Right? I don't want it to happen. I had a friend, she was on, we were on the same floor in college, Sylvia. And Sylvia used to say, whenever she watches Moulin Rouge, she's like, curtain closed, turn the movie off, happy ending.
Latanya just commented on our post, and she's right. She said, you may still be able to do certain things in 2021. And you're right. But I don't want to go around claiming 2021's my year, because I feel like that's when like the voodoo is going to be like, oh, really?
There was a post that said, it's like, before you say 2021 is going to be my year, I'd really like to see a trailer first. Thank you.
Really just want to like know what's coming.
Right.
I did laugh, because as we're getting closer to the end of the year, you can see all these people's Facebook memories from last year, where they're like, man, F 2019, 2020, let's go, let's bring this. And it's like, oh no.
Or in the words of Dave, no.
They brought it, you just didn't want what showed up on the cart.
I'm just saying, so it just goes to show we are all responsible for our own destiny. Don't push whatever off till next year. Just start today. Start now. Or better yet, start tomorrow. One of those two options. The work starts now. Don't wait for the year to like change your game. Nah, you're the game changer.
Right? Oh man. Stacey, do you remember that earlier this year I went to see 98 Degrees in concert? Like, that was
isn't that insane? Because that feels like so long ago.
I mean, the beginning of this year, Brexit happened, and
wow.
Right? It was this year.
That was this year. What?
Australia was on fire for pretty much the whole first month.
I was gonna say, like, this was all in the beginning.
Do you remember who won Best Picture?
No.
For the Academy Awards? It was that Korean speaking movie. Parasite.
Oh, Parasite?
Yeah.
Clearly I never saw it, but not clear. Well, if you've been listening for a while, I didn't see
it. But legitimately, like, so many things happened before this started, and then it was like, and then it all just got sucked into this. And then, like, Love is Blind was this year.
I know. Isn't that crazy? Listen, America, Stacey watched her first series this year. And also, Stacey watched her first, like, current on trend series. Like, see, just saying, it starts with you. I was breaking records in my personal life.
We out here, we're playing. I mean, we were all so obsessed with what was her name, and now I don't even remember her name. But she was
Jessica?
34. Jessica. Jessica was 34. She's still 34. Jessica is still 34.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. And she has a new man. Go girl. Go girl.
Live your life. Somebody had to be the villain. You played the part well.
Everyone deserves love. Everyone deserves second chances. So yay.
Have you seen the Match.com commercials for the devil and 2020?
Cracked up. I was like, who's in charge of their marketing? This is brilliant.
So funny. So
I'm like, who would match up with the dip? I see you.
2020.
So good. Oh my goodness. I cracked up because I was watching Hulu, still watching the Mindy Project, because also I have commercials because I'm cheap. Don't judge me. So as Chelsea said, kids, commercials are those things. They're advertisements that they show on television.
True.
Oh, but that's where I saw it and I cracked up. That was hysterical.
Dude, I'm
Hysterical.
hysterical. Let me tell you, my friends. So I was trying to think about I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this thing recap of my worst dates from this year. And then I was I started thinking about it and then I started getting a little bummed.
Right? It's emotional. It's emotional.
Also, I was randomly listening to our show, which I know sounds vain, but it's more like quality control,
Listen, whenever you see pro athletes and they watch recordings of themselves so they can see what they can do to get better, that's what we do. We are artists. We're professionals. Thank you, Podcast Detroit.
Sometimes I use the same phrase over and over and over and over again. And then I'm in my head being like, okay, you could stop saying that, Chelsea, really, anytime.
I say all the time. And then when I listen back, I'm like, why do I keep saying all the time? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it now. It reminds me that I need to get better in certain areas.
I was looking and I was like, okay, I don't have a top 3. I feel like I just picked my 2 bad dates from this year. One was last week's episode. So
Staccato.
What was his name?
I don't remember his name from last week, but I can give you a new one.
For today. What's his name today?
Miguel.
Miguel Ding was terrible. And if you want to know the full-on details, yeah, you should absolutely listen to last week's because it was a doozy. Easily in my top 10 worst dates ever. I realized, and here's the thing that's interesting is one, so many people are like, Chelsea, why do you stay when you know the date's going so poorly? And I'm like, well, I'm already there. And I do have a podcast.
Money. Money.
But the main reason is that it's just one of those things where I'm like, well, it can't get worse. In my head, I'm surely this is the worst thing he's gonna do. And then I would say my number 2, guys, it's worth it. Listen to the other one if you haven't yet. And then my number 2 bad date was, I need another name.
Let's go with Franklin.
So Franklin was the guy that I dated for a month during quarantine.
'Cause that was this year.
That was this year.
Yeah, listen, that's how you know we're in a rough place mentally because number 1, forgot all about him. Number 2, I actively went to thoughts of violence, and then I had to repent because I was just like, all right, I can figure out what his truck looks like. I can slash his tires. I can put sugar in his gas tank. I can set it on fire. I was going through everything and I couldn't think of a feasible way to get revenge without the blame pointing back at Chelsea. So then I had to stand down. I was just like, also, I'm a Christian. I probably shouldn't be taking these violence on.
for those of you who haven't listened back to that, which I understand you need something to do on your winter break, and so you're stocking up on our show. Um, so I dated Franklin, is what we called him just now, for about a month. He started out with it was really good when it started out. Like listening to the shows before I found out how bad it was going to be it actually like, was really hard for me to listen to it because I was so hopeful, and we had just been doing so much self-reflection with Heidi B and the book because that
was this year.
that was this year.
Listen, Heidi B got our lives together. That was the start of the therapeutic process. Like
listening to these episodes of me being so much more open with my own emotional struggles with you guys that I'm like, wow. I mean, one, let's be very clear. We are a comedy podcast. That is where we are on the surface. But
we have layers because we're humans.
It is also our lives. So there is truth in that. And truth isn't always funny. So the fact that I was sitting there saying, I have a vulnerable moment where if someone tells me that they love me too quick, I have a tendency to just be like, nope, everything you've ever told me is bullshit. Bye, and leave. So I was super honest with Franklin. I was so like open and emotionally available. And I really haven't been like that with someone in such a long time because I didn't even realize I was doing it until this year.
Man.
And he did the thing called love bombing to me, where he introduced me to his family. I got super attached. I was going to meet his freaking kids. Like it was getting serious. And mind you, as serious as things can get in a pandemic and all this stuff. But like, I just remember because he was like, oh my gosh, like I was looking at houses and he's like, let's go do a drive-by. Let's go hang out. Like we're doing all this stuff. We were hanging out all the time. It was really getting somewhere. And then he kind of started to drop off the face of the earth. And then when I called him on it, because I'm like, I'm not stupid. You need to just tell me what's up. And he was like, yeah, no, I think it's been really great. And I'm just super glad that we got to sleep together before I met somebody else. And I was like, duh, like now mind you, I think there is power in the course where like sometimes looking back, I'm like, you know what, it was an intense month because I wasn't working. It was pretty much all I was doing was hanging out with him and then doing the podcast, and like it was very bachelor bubble in that sense where they like these people, you're like, how does somebody fall in love with somebody over the course of 6 weeks? And you're like, if that's all that they're surrounding themselves with, it can happen, but that's when they go out into the real world and they're not surrounding themselves around their love bubble forever. He just didn't even let it get to that point. But like, that's how I was like, man, I like really dove into that pretty heavily. And then he was like, I'm glad we got to sleep together before I met somebody else. I was like, whoa, you just killed it. And on the flip side of that, I've always said, break up with me before you sleep with somebody else. I'm going to be mad either way, but at least I'll know you respected me enough to respect my values. And he did that. So at least I can say he did that. But dang,
and then
man.
Stacey had rage and was like, I will find him.
I mean, I had my own bit of rage there too. I'd gotten his daughter a birthday present, so I dropped it off at his mom's work, and his mom was, let's be clear, he's very much the favorite son. And so it was like, I was like, I'm very sorry. It was great to meet you, and I'm sorry that I'm not a part of your life. And then she kind of like, she was like, well, my son has introduced me to a lot of very nice girls. And he's like, but you were very, very nice. I'm like, I was like, good. I hope they're happy. I hope they're living their best life, doing their thing out. I hope everything else worked out for them, because look at me. I bought a house this year, and I can't even when I was dating him, I didn't even think that was on my radar yet. I was looking at houses, but I wasn't like actually shopping. Shout outs to my realtor. Her name's Chantel Hines. She is fantastic, and she sells $1 million homes. And the fact that she helped me. There was one day where I literally I went up to her, and we were at our I took her to some scary homes because scary homes are in my budget. And I looked at her and I was like, I know that you're not going to make a lot of money off of me, but I really appreciate you doing this kind of effort, putting this kind of effort in. And she looked at me and she was like, Chelsea, that's not what this is about. This is about you getting your own home, doing this on your own and getting the right home for you. And I was like, well, thanks. Because really, she didn't get a lot of commission off me. I got that house for a steal.
Montel made 2020 worth it.
But it's so funny because I was like, man, if I were still dating him, I probably wouldn't have even considered looking at that house because he has kids. And isn't that funny? Because the house I got, guys, it's small. It's literally good for me.
It's adorable.
And
It's
maybe
so cute.
roommate, but it's a small house. So as a 35-year-old woman, I have stuff. So I'm super excited.
She has shoes.
I'm putting a whole master closet in the basement with the laundry connected to it. So nobody has to see my laundry. This is okay. Know your own faults, right? Know your faults. My fault. I will never be able to do it right. I know exactly who I am in this sense. I hate laundry. I hate it. Laundry's the worst. I delay laundry for as absolutely long as possible. Like, so I don't want to, because right now I'm just in one bedroom. So I have the like, this pile needs like a couple more pieces of clothing in it before I can justify washing it. So it's a pile on my floor. And so I have like 3 color coordinated piles on my floor. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm getting a closet that's no one has to go see. So
I am impressed that you have color coordinated piles though, like at least you start the process.
well, that's more just because I don't want to deal with it later because I hate
I don't care. I'm proud of you.
But the other funny thing is like we're laughing because my dad likes to throw some digs in. Love you, Dad. And he'll be like, yeah, if we can find the floor in your bedroom. And I'm like, first off, I will have an entire house for my stuff. Secondly, I already know that about myself. So my clothes won't even be in my bedroom.
Checkmate.
And I was like, I would love to pretend that like I'm going to move into the house and all of a sudden I'm going to be like, you know what? This seems like a great Tuesday night for laundry. But I know me. So I found these like extra large baskets. So, and I'm going to have 3 of them lined up so I can have my 3 piles, but they'll be in baskets at least. And they'll all be in the laundry room. I'm going to put in a full bathroom in the basement too. I'm so excited. Like there are so many opportunities on the horizon for me, for Stacy, for you guys listening. I don't want to, I feel like we can't take everything that happened this year as anything more than just the step to the next part.
Hello. Because
not every chapter is going to be the happy. Not every chapter is going to be the devastatingly sad. Sometimes you just got plot filler because you need plot.
But just know that you're living a bestseller.
That's what I'm saying. So you know what? Maybe 2020 was the drama year. And maybe I'm not going to sit here and plan for 2021 to be the best year of my life. I'm going to plan for 2021 to be the next step. And it's going to be good. Oh, I feel it. It's going to be, I just feel like things are happening. You guys are still blowing up our Facebook. I can't even tell you. And when I say blowing up, I like.
We mean more than my mom is listening.
But like it's so funny. We post on Facebook, a few people like, it's nothing crazy, but like in the last month we've had more people like the show on our Facebook page than in the last year. So thank you.
We out here. And just like what Chelsea was saying, because also if it's my turn to share a recap,
yes.
Your girl started off real just like happy, and thanks to the lovely Heidi B and all of that like good therapy.
Can I ask you a question, Stacey? Were you blonde in the beginning of 2020?
I was brown.
You were like, that was when you were saying you were blonde and we were like, no, you're not blonde.
Right. And now that I'm blonde, I'm like, yeah, I wasn't blonde.
Yeah, no.
What is blonde? I have 4 inches of salt and pepper black roots and then brown. Shout out to my hairdresser,
Renee, thanks for watching. Renee, thank you for watching.
But super shouts out to Shakia for getting me blonde this year. Yes, beauty is key. It's amazing. I don't know if she's accepting new clients yet just because of restrictions, but I'm an old one, so I get to still see her. So beginning of this year, so what I learned through 2020, especially through Heidi B and all that great stuff, was I will accept whatever is thrown at me and take it to be like, oh, this is the best that I deserve, whatever that is. So in the very beginning, your girl went on more dates than she's been on in a long time. And so, but with both suitors, like they were not a compatible match with me at all. But because they're very nice people, nothing against them, because they were very nice guys and they checked all of the appropriate boxes, which is has a sense of humor and loves Jesus. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be it. And tried and true, I always say, I'm a good luck Charlie. So if you meet me, go on a date with me, if I'm not your person, like you're gonna get married. And sure enough, with the shy guy from the beginning, I watched his Facebook wedding like 3 weeks ago. Like, because I'm just like, see, I'm tried and true. But what I did learn is that it is like, number one, it's okay for me to want better. And number two, I deserve better, which was something I didn't know, to be quite honest. So it's okay to be like picky about some things, like, because it's not going to, like, I need someone that I can have like good conversation with, and not someone that just goes like hides in a corner if they just don't want to be talkative, or like, oh, I can only do surface stuff, I can't delve below that. It's like, it was really a teachable moment for all parties, I think. So that was something great that I took away from it. And I would say the top thing that happened to me in 2020 is that I buckled down and I became debt free. Make it rain up in this piece. Make it rain. Student loans, not me. Car payment, not me. Rent, next year. But but that was the big thing. And I always said that when I get married someday, I want them to just take me and all of my debt. That was something that I always said. So I am eternally grateful that I have beautiful, loving parents that let their 35-year-old kid spend a significant amount of time with them, so I could just pay everything off, stack a few chips, and then fly the nest in 2021.
I like it. Rather than do like New Year's resolutions for ourselves, because I think the biggest thing, if I were going to pick one for myself, is just to get healthier, because I've been definitely in kind of a self-loathing place. I think we've all been very like, eat your
All of
feelings,
us.
eat your feelings. So I would like to maybe just feel my feelings and maybe not eat them.
It's so hard though.
Feel your feelings, don't eat them. So
I feel like that's been our mantra before, and it was worth repeating.
but instead, I feel like maybe I want to give Stacy what I wish for her resolution. And I feel like if I were going to pick anything for you, Stacy, I would wish that you would think of yourself first. Just literally, because even when it comes to meeting people, she'll be like, you know who you'd love to hang out with? You know who'd be great for you? Me. Pick you, Stacy. I want you to just really, and don't feel bad about it, because honestly, look around, nobody else does.
Girl, preach.
And we're living in a world that is so selfish, and you are so selfless, that this little bit of selfishness is not going to outweigh the charity, the volunteering, all the good works that you do in your life. I just want you to, in this next coming year, to think of yourself first, because you are your number one priority. You are. Yes. That's my wish for you for next year.
Do you remember snaps? Because if you
Yeah.
clap, you can show favoritism, but snaps are all equal. Snaps around the building for toes. They also do that like poetry clubs. Remember clubs? No, forget that guy. Forget the trumpet player. Sorry if you play trumpet. But no, that trumpet ego, nobody has time for it. Number one, thank you. That is so kind. The thing that I hope, pray, wish, all the things for Chelsea would be to protect your peace. So this is why we're friends, because we are like the same person in a lot of ways. Just you will, like, if someone doesn't step up to the plate, like, you will step up to the plate and help other people, even if it is an inconvenience to you. So as thrilled as I am that you have your own house grown woman stuff, yes, like that is your temple. And listen, if someone's just like, oh, I just need to get away, blah, 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 blah. Hey, I'm like by your house, I can come over. You can say, no, now is not a good time for you to come over. Like, no, because that is your space. No one can tell you what to do with it. And also, like, you go out of your way to help other people. And I think something that we both have learned this year is that it's not fair for us to expect ourselves out of other people, because we will go above and beyond for other people. And then when we think those people should do the same, they don't. And that sucks. And I'm like, do you not know the trash you've been through and who was there by your side? So that's something that I need to use to help motivate me to like put myself first. But all that to say, like, protect your peace. If someone hasn't been coming at you correctly, then it's okay to be like, you know what? No, I don't have the mental capacity to deal with this, nor do I want to deal with this. So no, done. Bye. Protect your peace.
You're not wrong. That is something I absolutely need to work on. And you're right. This year I have definitely learned by way of 4 separate friends where it was like, cool, I was putting the effort in, and the second I stopped, you stopped. So I'm done. And you know what happened? I realized that I have some really great friends who are actually there for me. And I was actually kind of neglecting the great friends because I was so busy with all the crap from the crap friends.
Man, and I have been so busy neglecting myself, just trying to take on everyone else's stuff and just be like, no, this is a good thing that I'm doing.
Champagne from my real friends, real pain from my chump friends.
Hey, this is water that I'm using in the Zoom call right now. Hey. Also, shout out to my nails, Color Street. Yes.
Oh, mine are plain because I haven't had time because work. I have like 7 pairs of Color Street and I haven't put a single one on yet.
Girl, who you telling? Like, this was one of them. I have like so many that are left. I'm so excited about it. We got our matching ones.
Matching ones. So Stacey and I have the same ones.
They're so cute.
Listen,
drop the ball.
That's it, man. We've been here for an hour. 2020 has been a gift that we can choose to accept or choose to throw in the garbage. And honestly, it's on you, like however you want to take it. Thank you, Stacey, for, as always, being here with me, being my best friend. Love you.
Thank you, Chelsea, for never leaving me.
If you leave, I'll find you. So
I'll find you.
Big shout out to Podcast Detroit, because when all of this first went down, we sent a message to Dave that was like, hey, we can't do this because financially we had lost jobs. Like,
we ain't got the money.
like it wasn't an option. And Dave flat out said, yeah, no, we're good. We'll figure it out. And we've gotten everything worked out how it's supposed to. But literally, thank God for this podcast, because you guys have been like my saving grace through this whole thing. One thing I can rely on.
I love that it came with a diva hand. We love you, America, world, our single friends, our married friends, all of our listeners. Thank you for hitting us up, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you find your podcast, or just keeping up with us on Instagram and Twitter at RWIS Podcast, or on Facebook at Reasons Why I'm Single. We just thank you for just being clutch. We are a team. We get through this together. We're happy we can make you laugh, but also we thank you for listening.
And we just want to tell you that be whoever you are, because that's exactly who you're supposed to be in this exact moment in time. And that's perfect. And we love it.
Love that. Love you.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Happy New Year. Send us what your resolutions are. We want to hear them.
Yes. Send us pictures of your outfits. I'm curious.
Sparkles, sparkles.
Sweatpants.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Stacy. This is Reasons Why I'm Single. We'll see you next week and next year. Okay, bye.
Bye.